My name is G.W. Chu, also known as Chef Chu. I'm actually the founder of Something Better Foods. We manufacture plant protein. We've actually created the best tasting plant protein that has a really great texture and a great taste. I was raised a hardcore Southern country boy. I mean, we ate everything from fried chicken to ribs, pork chops, ham, and we even ate squirrels. And this type of lifestyle, eating a lot of meat, had a detrimental impact on my family's health. So my dad passed away a few years back from lifestyle-related diseases. Many of my aunts died before the age of 55.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, you name it, we have it in the family. At a very young age, my father kind of presented it to me in a way that it just runs in the family, right? Not really getting to the root of why we have these things.
And a lot of it came from the way that we ate. And it was part of our culture, the soul food diet, but again, it had high fat, high cholesterol, and it was devastating to our health and to our family.
Whenever people think about black people and diet, what do they think about? So-called soul food, right? It's not soul food, it's plantation food. Because when you look at the traditional diets of West Africans, which is where the gene pool of African Americans comes from, it's a plant food centered diet that's built around whole, unprocessed plant foods. It's low in fat, contains no dairy, and typically contain very little meat. Studies have shown that when people of African descent adhere to that kind of diet, their risk for heart disease, cancer, diabetes plummets.
So in 2001, amazingly, I became a vegan. But everything on the market at that time, literally tasted like dog-made pet food. It was horrible.
Well, I was always exposed to food that didn't taste good. And so it made it difficult to make that transition because all of a sudden I wasn't hungry, because the stuff didn't taste the right way.
So personally, I became a chef, started a 15-year journey to understand the secrets of why I love meat so much and to create something better. As a result of that, I discovered that eating meat was an experience that we all love. We love the savory, we love the textures and the flavor of meat. But how can I create something that can bring people to a place where they would want to change as well? And so we discovered that eating meat was an experience that involved 3 amazing factors. That included texture, the taste, and the appearance.
It's one of those things that you eat, it's very light on your system, and you feel energized, and that's what food is supposed to be.
We call our product Better Chew because it has a better texture, a better taste, and a better chew.
You know what, I really wanted to go back in the back and see, who's really making this, and I felt like you guys were playing a trick on me or something because it tastes just like chicken.
And they like to say it looks like chicken, it tastes like chicken, but guess what? It ain't chicken. So we created something better. But even after we realized that we created this amazing plant protein product, we recognized that some communities would not have access to this because of their socio-economical situation. We live in communities, especially urban communities, where families and individuals do not have access to healthy food products, especially when it comes to like veggie meats and plant protein. Normally they're sold at natural food stores. You have what you call food deserts, where you have communities that are laden with liquor stores, corner stores, everything from fast food restaurants.
When you look at the history of the U.S. government and its interaction with communities of color, there is this recurring pattern where people of color are taken from an environment where they can be self-sufficient, raise their own food, and eat healthier foods, forced into these economically depressed, socially impacted areas where they don't have access to healthier food, good food, and therefore become dependent on government food subsidy programs. But then when you look at what the government is providing, it's providing commodity foods. And commodity foods are things like white flour, white rice, white sugar, canned meat.
Where do these people get the nutrients and the vitamins that they need to be successful, to have the clarity in their mind? So if we could start providing more local produce in these communities and making sure it's affordable, I mean, it'd be night and day.
And so what we want to do is we want to disrupt and democratize the access of healthy food products, especially meat products like our plant protein products, to be able to help people to transition to a more healthier lifestyle. You know, so you look at, again, these food deserts leads to an excessive amount of meat consumption. Amazing that there was a study done by the USDA that showed meat consumption by race. And they brought out that African Americans and also Hispanic communities eat more meat than any other race in this country. So for example, African Americans eat 38% more chicken than any other race, 53% more fish. Hispanics eat more beef than any other culture.
We wake up in the morning, we have grits, fried eggs, bacon, sausage, just standard Western diet. I eat meat probably like 3 times a day.
African Americans have higher rates of heart disease, higher mortality from heart disease, higher rates of cancer, higher mortality for cancer. So for instance, African Americans are the group that is most at risk from colon cancer. Colon cancer is the fastest growing cancer amongst African Americans, and when we develop it, it's more lethal in us. Cancer is directly related to a meat-centered, high-fat diet.
When we look at this big picture of this excessive meat consumption, it's actually causing exponential meat production. And this exponential meat production is causing ravaging effects on the animals.
Animals are literally kept in torture-like conditions, horrible cages and these stalls where they can't even move around so that they can then be taken out and slaughtered. And it's horrible, it's gross, and it's immoral.
That again, this is causing not only impacts on the animals, but also destroying impacts on the environment. And so again, a change has to happen, a change must come. We can't continue practicing these type of issues. And so it starts though, how do you make the change? You have to look at communities of color and what we're eating. And so if we don't bring a solution to these communities, we're gonna find that, you know, this cycle.
If we continue on the road that we are going down right now, there's going to be more cancer, more heart disease, more stroke, more diabetes. We're already seeing those trends. So the solution is to encourage people of color, particularly African Americans, to get back to our true heritage, and that's a plant-based diet.
And only when we really are true to ourselves can we make a change. And so again, eating healthy, all of these things are going to take an effort from all of us. It's going to have to take a relentless effort for us to really see this change in what we're trying to accomplish. When we look at this again, the big picture, the issues are of great magnitude, but there's good news, there is a solution. When you think about food is obviously a cultural experience. It's an activity that connects us all together. My greatest memories for me came at holiday times, eating with my family. But again, since food is cultural, it also represents our identity. And since it represents our identity, we can't just bash people over the head with facts and statistics. We have to come close to people. We have to spend time with them. We have to take time inspiring and educating and finding foods, again, better true protein, finding foods that's going to be able to resonate with people, give them something that they're familiar with. And so this change can only come as we, again, come into the communities, come into the homes, come into the basketball courts, come into these different places and spending time with those who typically don't hear about these things. All they see is what's around them. So we have to bring it to them. And so our mission, again, our vision is to start a movement. We need you, we need the people out here to know that each of us can make an impact with those closest to us. Your change can be the inspiration for those that are around you. Your change can also inspire your family, inspire your children to make the change necessary to not only change your community, but to change the world. So our mission as Something Better Foods is to change lives one chew at a time.